Hey guys, it's Keaton again with the 8-Bit Pepper channel, and today, as you saw in the title and possibly noticed in the thumbnail, I'm going to be eating a little bit less spicy peppers. This is the tolerance video, much awaited by a lot of you. So, I've got 5 different peppers in front of me. I've got a jalapeno. Next up would be Serrano. A little bit longer, a little less dark green. And a kind of a unique one I found at the market I went to, a Manzano. So I was kind of surprised when I saw this, but honestly, it was really, really nice to see it. So then a Thai chili, both green, and then a red Thai chili. So, much awaited tolerance video. Thanks for the patience from everybody. So this is kind of going to be a few-part series. And I just want to start by saying that these are all just examples. If I were to be a brand new person in the chili community, if I could restart all over but have the knowledge I have now, this is probably how I would have went about doing it. And it's all about finding like your equilibrium or your balance on a day-to-day, whether your body can handle it or whether your digestive system is having troubles. You can skip a day, maybe just take the same amount of bite or progressively the bite, get the burn in your mouth, and then you won't have quite as much capsaicin in your digestive system. Inevitably, if you swallow it all, you're gonna have some capsaicin though. Just remember that. If it goes in your mouth and you don't flush it all out before you swallow anything, capsaicin oil will get down into your stomach. So starting off today, we've got the jalapeno first, and just a heads up in this video to prevent it from taking forever, because these are actually like giant pods here, the jalapeno and the serrano, they're pretty big, so I don't want to have a chewing video today. I'm only gonna take off a portion, and then I'll finish these and I'll make like a salsa or something in the background out of all these peppers. But I'm gonna cut off essentially how much between 5 and 10,000 Scovilles is what the average jalapeno is. Some are rogue, hotter than others, but I'm gonna cut off just the tip to start, just so we can have like kind of like a rough basin. If you were to be brand new, this might even be too much for you, believe it or not. So if you're brand new to eating peppers and whatnot, raw peppers, you would probably want to take this amount or less from the tip of that. I mean, that's like a pinky fingernail for reference, kind of. So you would want to do that or a little bit less, but I'll take a bigger bite than that, obviously. And if you start eating this jalapeno and you're like, oh my gosh, that's way too hot for me. Some people, it may just be placebo. If you turn around and you get like the pickled jalapenos in the jar that you put on, like, I don't know, burgers or grill, and add them to food dishes that way, that I've heard, and maybe from like personal experience, I kind of felt like maybe the placebo affected me too. It wouldn't necessarily be as hot as the normal raw jalapeno, just because it kind of dispensed a little bit of the capsaicin in liquid. So I'm just gonna eat this much of this pepper just for chewing sake. But if you need a reference back or come back to this video at this spot several times, just try and eat a little bit more of it maybe every day. You don't have to do it all in one sitting, but just get your tongue kind of accustomed to it. And one of my tricks that I've kind of said in the past, and you don't have to do it if you don't want to, but when you chew a pepper, try to keep your mouth closed if you're trying to increase the tolerance of the heat in your mouth. So I'm gonna start eating this and talk, but essentially what you're doing is you're kind of testing with more warmer environment, it feels like. This is not scientific at all. This is just my personal thoughts. You're kind of warming the environment in your mouth instead of cooling it, like when you breathe in. So essentially, I don't know, for me anyway, it just gives the effect that it's hotter. than if I were to just go and suck in cold air constantly. And when I talk in these videos, most of the time, you know, it's warmer air that's coming out of my mouth. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. When I eat peppers alone, I don't always do that when I'm trying to increase my tolerance, but it's just a thought. So that's kind of like the jalapeno. Gradually do more and more and more as you can. That was a really good tasting jalapeno. I'm gonna actually eat some of this off camera, but instead of doing this also. So let's move on to the Serrano. Once you feel comfortable that you can get more and more of a jalapeno down every day, you know, step up to the Serrano and just kind of test yourself with that. Same principle. This is probably too much even, like I showed in the jalapeno. That's probably too much if you can't handle the heat of the jalapeno, the whole thing at once. Serrano might be a bit of a jump, so start slow with that too. I'll probably try and get off more towards the center here of this pepper. Eat about as much as I did the jalapeno there. It's a really good flavor jalapeno. I went to a local Mexican market. If you don't have these peppers readily available, these first two, everybody kind of should. Everybody should be able to find jalapeno and serranos pretty easy. Even Walmart near me has both of those and habaneros. And habanero, I kind of jumped in. It's going to be in a future video probably, just because it kind of is bordering like medium hots for me. And this is all kind of baseline. The only pepper I want to say that I didn't include in this because I don't have it available or couldn't find it, I was really hoping to get it, was a cayenne. Because cayenne is like that jump between Manzano and Thai chili. If you have access to it, that's what you should do, but I'll kind of get into that in a little bit. So I got this much of a Serrano here, and if you want, you can even, you know, here, let me even, just as an example, I'll eat the whole thing still, but if you want to even just do like where you gut the inside and take the seeds out and everything, that's totally fine. And just kind of test the outer layer or the membranes of the pepper rather than the whole thing. But essentially what you're doing when you eat the peppers small bit by bit is you're slowly building your mouth's tolerance. Now, it's important when you start off to start slow, like I'm doing here, just kind of demonstrating. You wouldn't want to do this if you're like, hey, I can eat this jalapeno, the whole thing, I'll eat it tonight. Well, if your mouth can handle it, not necessarily your stomach and digestive system, there's this thing called capsaicin cramps, and I don't know if you can get them really from jalapenos and serranos and whatnot, probably, if you're not used to it at all. But essentially, your stomach's gonna cramp up. That's where the term cap cramps come from. And it's gonna be this really horrific knot feeling that like your stomach is like twisting and turning and fighting itself. It's gonna feel like you're constantly getting punched in the stomach or something, but it's not a fun feeling. And so you want to avoid that if you can. It can be a deal breaker for a lot of people when you're first starting out. So you wouldn't want to jump into like a habanero right away. Even if you go to like my pepper journey kind of started, I was like 11 or 12, and I mentioned this in a previous video. My grandma gave me red pepper flakes, and essentially it was like cayenne she grew and she dried out on a stringer. So they were like not overly dried, but not soggy or mushy, you know? They were like right at that perfect texture. I put them on pizza like every day that week. And it was in the summertime. So I was making, while my parents were at work, like Totino's or whatever, pizza, you know? And so I fell in love with peppers, and that's kind of how my journey started. Now, I mean, I used to put like hot sauce and just regular pepper from the shaker and Tabasco all the time on food before that. I wouldn't say like consistently though. but it was like, oh, this kind of goes good with hot sauce. Let me try it. But yeah, let's stop yakking. This is a video about increasing your tolerance, not my past. So this is why I bought 3. So keep this in mind. If you're gonna go through peppers constantly, this is bound to happen, right? I'm not gonna name the market, but that is a lot of seeds in there that I don't know if I feel comfortable eating that pepper because of it. So let's grab another one. That's why I had the other 2 on hand. Let's see if they're all like that. If they are, we might have to just take a small sliver of the outer layer here. Yeah, I guess, I'm not sure if they're supposed to look like that or not, but that's another one. So 2 for 2. I've never had a Manzano before, so bear with me. This is a little bit greener one. Let's hope that the side here, and I could be off when I say this, if they're, so like, that's kind of what I was thinking. So like this one's a little better, so I'll probably eat off this side, but somehow their distributor at this market I went to must have gotten some bad, or they've had them for a while on the shelf. So I'll eat a couple, like a small piece off this, just because I don't want to get sick potentially. And I'm kind of comfortable with about that much, thinking I'm not going to get. But if it's supposed to look like that, I just haven't done my research on Manzanos. I just know that it means apple in Spanish. And it was a pepper that was there at the market, and I was like, hey, let's try that. It's middle of the pack range. I knew the range was about 15 to 30,000 Scovilles or so, maybe 12. The Serrano, like I said, about 15,000. So let's eat this one. Juicy pepper. And it means apple for a reason. The first time trying that, and tastes identical, like you'd think you were eating an apple. So it's a really good flavor. And the heat, actually, this one might have been a little bit milder than what they can range up to, but that Serrano was probably a little hotter than this, to be honest with you. So keep that in mind. If you get the same peppers as me here, you could end up with a Rogue Serrano or Manzano that's hotter than the one I have, but that was a really sweet and really fruity, great pepper. I just wish that they wouldn't have been so mold rotted to the core. I didn't say mold, there's no mold, but rotten core. The seeds are not viable at all. Let's just put it that way. The best way to have access to some of the peppers that you can't from the store, growing your own. That's why I started to grow my own, because I just started a couple years ago. I think I'm going on, this will be the 3rd year, if you include these seedlings, of me actually diving in and growing peppers like hardcore. As far as first year I grew some ghosts and reapers and whatnot. Had purple gator jigsaw that I had grown, and I had bought seeds that I didn't start until previously, like maybe like 1.5 years in. And these are 3 that I just had for the video too. I haven't, that I can recall, highlighted any of my Kangstar white tie. But these are variations. This might have just been like seeds early on in the peppers gene before it got completely stabilized. So that's why I still have some red. I bought these seeds in like 2021 or the tail end of COVID in 2020. And so I had one plant that had some that came off with red and some white and purplish like this. And then the other one was pretty much all white so far. If I let them sit on there super, super long, I'm noticing they turn more red. And I don't know, I'm not an expert on the Kangstar white tie, if they all will do that or not. But those are just kind of, I didn't use those in the video because people would have more regular access to just like a green red tie at the store. I got these ones from the Asian market that's like right up the street, like 2 blocks down from the Mexican city market. But with Thais, they have this weird effect for me anyway. They sting worse, for me particularly, than a habanero. And it's interesting because everybody's got their own like tolerance to heat and whatnot differently. But Thais are one of those that just always kind of surprise me that like, wow, I can actually still kind of taste that, like the sting to it. Even though you see me eating stuff like this on camera all the time, you know, like a 7-pot Primo. But Thais, they just have that effect. I'm gonna kind of cut this one down the center here because I don't want to eat any black seeds here. And wouldn't you know it, might have got some from the market that weren't so great. That's the example. So I have a whole bag of them here on hand because I was kind of worried just noticing how they looked. I don't want to throw any companies under the bus because you can't necessarily expect somebody to come in every day and buy a bunch of Thai chilies, you know? It's just not realistic sometimes, especially where I live. There's not a whole lot of cultural ethnicity maybe buying constantly, but this is a pretty good one. This red one, let's see. This side, you can kind of see it. If I get it to focus. Not a great example, but... And you wouldn't want to do this if you're not used to handling hot peppers. But those are much better seeds. I'm just going to say it. How much should I eat of this for my first time, Keaton? Well, there is a lot of different variants in that saying when you ask that question. So, just that tip here. Let me just, because I kind of cut it weird, broke it off a little bit. Dropped it. That right there is enough to potentially light your mouth on fire. That is no more than what my dad took a couple years ago when we bought a Thai Red Dragon from a local nursery, like a plant nursery that was growing them. And so essentially he ate that, and I mean, he wasn't used to the heat, and that's going to happen to anybody if you do that. But when you're used to the heat, you can eat the whole thing typically, and it's not a big deal. I'm gonna eat that little piece there. Take that one black seed that's in there out. Had a bad experience one time with a black seed. I'll even eat that tip that I just showed you guys. That'd be more than enough your first time probably, because they can get hot and they're great. I love to dry out Thai chilies and then make those into pepper powder and flakes. They just add an element to a dish that's crazy good, personally think. This one has a lot of seeds. They can get quite bitter at times, but great flavor. And let's say you go out to eat, and Keaton said I should try and test myself and, you know, get something hotter than I normally would. There's, 3 levels, mild, medium, and hot at a restaurant. Let's say you go with medium. And what I would do before you get the food, before it's delivered to the table, before you even place the order, I would ask, hey, do you have, like if it's at a Hispanic restaurant, do you have sour cream? Most of them will. Or if it's at like Buffalo Wild Wings, you get the hot wings and normally you only get mild or something. Or you get honey barbecue or barbecue, sweet barbecue. And you decide, hey, I'm gonna get something hotter. Get some ranch with it, or blue cheese, if you're a blue cheese fan. I'm a fan of both. Midwest, where ranch was kind of a thing, but I also like blue cheese. Maybe I'm rare in that aspect. A lot of people at my job, I'm finding, quite a few don't like blue cheese. But yeah, if you eat peppers regularly and you're like, gosh, my mouth can handle it, but my stomach can't. Here, I'll just finish this red tie while I'm talking. Like, hey, my mouth can handle it, but my stomach is having a tough time. So what I would do is prepping beforehand can make a world of difference if you're not used to it. Like for this, I didn't do anything particular because you guys see me eat super hots and stuff all the time. So this is nothing, but if you go and eat just some club crackers or a piece of bread, or this is a hidden thing that I found recently just from snacking before eating some of my super hots on this video, guys. Don't throw this out. Cheese balls. Not even kidding you. They coat the stomach so well, and I know a lot of people are like, that's unhealthy for you. It's not an every time thing. I just found it happened one time. I ate cheese balls before, a couple of videos back actually. It was like, and notice I'm using my knuckle, not my finger, because capsaicin all over. That'd be a huge no-no. But a couple videos back, I want to say T-Rex mustards, when Stinger Pepper sent me those. I ate some cheese balls beforehand, and wow, coated the stomach so well. I ate the T-Rex mustard, and I think I ate the chocolate Reaper too in that video. But then I tried it again when I ate those pods from Clayton just recently, the RB003 and the mustard Primatali. Worked again. I couldn't believe it. So, hey, it's worth a try. If it's a starchy food or like a snack that, like a corn chip even, probably gonna be better than nothing on your stomach. So give it a try. And I highly encourage, if you're gonna go out and eat peppers for the first time, that you also have potentially something like Pepto-Bismol on hand, just so that the next day you don't necessarily have really bad number twos. Let's just go with that. Yeah, and if things go bad, to wrap this video up, if things go bad for you, like let's say you just saw me eat that red tie and you tried to take a bigger bite than you thought, and it's just burning the ever-living crap out of your tongue, and you're like, oh shoot, I shouldn't have done this. So in this order, I find what works for me the best is, if I ever was trying to increase my tolerance, I would like to eat like those Indian meals that I talked about from the restaurant and what used to go to, where they would just basically grind up the ghost peppers for me at the point before they closed. Was I would have yogurt on hand, just a plain or a fruit. My favorite, strawberry yogurt. So when I do eat it, that's my go-to. And it can be Greek yogurt. It can be Yoplait with high sugar. I mean, it's all your preference. But have like a yogurt on hand, milk on hand, and ice cream. I prefer, and I mean, I guess no particular order. Whatever you prefer the most will work the best. But kind of swish it around in your mouth. You know, you're not going to get it out right away. It's a thing where it just kind of takes some time. Sometimes if it's too hot for you, it's too hot for you. But it's kind of disappointing with that green tie that it was like that. I wonder how many of that container was like that. We'll see. Let me show you how many I got for $4.32. That's how many I got from that local Asian mart. That's a lot. That's a lot of Thai chili. I told my wife, I mean, after cutting this one open, I'm definitely going to cut them open before I use them to, you know, make some kind of sauce or hot something, maybe powder even, because I'm not going to waste any of this. But sorry for the jibber jabber. I'll kind of cut to the chase. I'm going to use up all the peppers I bought that were extra, that are good, like the outside of these Manzanos. I'll probably use some of those. Man, that was a good tasting pepper. I'd like to probably grow those actually in the future. But anyway, to wrap things up, everybody's different. And if you followed along this far through the video, I really appreciate your support. Consider leaving a subscribe, a like, you know. if you want to see more pepper content. And there's going to be future tolerance videos. This was just kind of the start to it. Give everybody a baseline. Don't take too much of the pepper. Midway through, if you're having second thoughts, you know, on how much you took, and you're at a restaurant and you're like, give me the ice cream, give me the ice cream. It might not work like that. They might, you know, just bring it out to you right away, but it's kind of more embarrassing that way. So maybe ask if you're kind of scared that the dish could be too hot in advance. It's always better to ask for sour cream or ranch in advance. Ask for forgiveness, you know. And then backup plan if you're at home, get some milk, yogurt, ice cream, something to cool your mouth off with. But I mean, this was another video by Keaton on the 8-Bit Pepper channel here. I appreciate everybody who's, you know, coming along, watching the videos on a day-to-day basis when I release them. Finally got to you guys a tolerance video, how I would have done it.